Hello, and welcome back inside the training room for my final part of my interview with the anti-Iceman, Gary Reinl. In this last part, Gary reveals several ideal injury recovery devices on the market today that are designed specifically for injury and exercise recovery. So, Gary, tell me, you mentioned the H-Wave, and I know you do some stuff with Mark Pro. How do those devices work, and how would you mentioned it a little bit, how would you implement that in a kind of a typical type of injury environment?
The short answer to that is anyone who would want to read a protocol on using the H-Wave, you can go to GaryReinl.com. Down the bottom, there's resources of articles that I've written, and there's a paper called Wasting Away in Margaritaville. And please excuse my cute titles, but I'm competing with 10,000 articles out there, so I've got to do something.
Yeah.
My lead co-author, by the way, is the editor-in-chief of the Physician Sports Medicine Journal. Very accomplished orthopedic surgeon and very straight main line. And you think, wow, would he agree with this? No, if you are main line, you agree with this. So
Yeah,
it isn't the fringes who agree with me. I'm simply taking the information that's in your literature and bringing it back and saying, here's what your guys say to do. So if you go to that article, the second page is the protocol that you should follow. Not that it is infallible. It's that's what everyone has been doing now. The product's been around for nearly 40 years, and we know how it's best used from the people who are using it. So the protocol is there, but here's the way that you would use H-Wave, say, in an injury. H-Wave is when you are injured. Mark Pro is for when you are tired and sore. So the difference would be a pitcher's shoulder is injured and he may need surgery. That's H-Wave. A pitcher's arm is tired and sore from throwing a baseball. That would be Mark Pro. So a very simple difference. And how I explain it to my trainers, I work with over 100 professional athletic teams. By the way, every team in Major League Baseball, and I believe if not every, so near every, it probably doesn't even matter anymore, minor league team. And the only reason I don't have a clean count on minor league is because very often the rehab coordinators for the minors will buy the units, and then if they have 6 minor league teams and they buy 6 units, I'm assuming each team got one, but I don't know that for sure. But I do know that every major league team does use the products. So what I say to the trainers is this: if the injury is potentially career altering or ending, that's definitely H-Wave. If it's just tired and sore, that's definitely Mark Pro. Anything that falls between those two spots, you're a professional. Figure it out and make a decision. So that's how I separate it. Now, how you do it is this: you electronically walk it off. So the problem with walking it off is, and I say this with respect, and these people were great leaders for me when I was growing up playing sports. I mean, these were our coaches, the people who volunteered their time. Nobody got paid back in those days. Back in the late 50s, early 60s, coaches coached because they wanted to help. So sometimes they may have had us walking on broken ankles. So that part might not have been right. But mostly their idea of walking it off, don't sit still, to tighten up, really did work. So the problem with that is sometimes that makes it hurt, and that can cause more damage because you shouldn't put that much stress on it. But Mark Pro and H-Wave lets you electronically walk it off. So when you electronically walk it off, you can control the intensity. In other words, how much pressure you're putting when you step down, when you're walking it off. You can make just a little bit of muscle activation or a significant amount of activation. And I follow a simple rule: use your brain, never cause pain. So, for example, someone that you know, and I believe I showed you these pictures, Major League team, sent me a picture of a player's hand post ulnar collateral ligament reconstruction, second reconstruction. and the hand is grossly swollen. I mean, let's say he's wearing a mitten. I mean, it really does look like he's wearing a mitten.
Yeah.
And the trainer said, I thought you'd like to see these pictures. And the one was post-op, hand all swollen, badly swollen. And the other picture was 72 hours later, 100% clean. You saw the pictures, 100% clean. There's nothing there. Okay?
Yeah.
Now, why does that matter? Well, let's just stop for a second and say, badly swollen, 72 hours later, completely gone. You know from your experience, that's a 2.5 week problem under normal conditions. In other words, if you followed the RICE protocol, it's 2.5 weeks. We had it cleaned out in 72 hours. Now, so why does that matter?
Right.
Well, because we didn't suffocate and kill, otherwise perfect healthy cells were not involved in the initial trauma. We didn't have the systemic disuse atrophy. We didn't have the faulty scarring. We rebuilt the related vascular network in and around the damaged site. We lowered the myostatin levels so muscle regeneration was not inhibited. That put us weeks ahead of where you had been if you continued to lose over that next 10 days, right? Because we're 10 days ahead at this point. But we're way more than 10 days ahead because we don't have the downstream additional loss. And we don't have the restrictions or the suppression of the tissue regeneration. So why does that matter? 4 weeks ahead. So that's why it matters. I'm 4 weeks ahead. When you're talking about athletes, 4 weeks is a long time. And then I don't have to overcome.
Sure.
I don't have to rebuild that tissue because it wasn't destroyed. I don't have to break those adhesions because they didn't occur. I don't have to regenerate the muscle because the atrophy didn't happen. I don't have to wait for the vascular network to be rebuilt because I've already done it. And I've already lowered the myostatin level so the muscle's regenerated. So here's what that trainer said to me. When I said to him, I got the pictures and I called him. I sent him an email and I called him. And he said, so what do you think? I said, it's great, but I got a question for you. Why'd you let it swell? And he said, you're never satisfied. And I said, no, I'm really glad. I'm really glad because I had 2 great pictures. But why'd you let it swell? He said, it's a big question, isn't it? Here it is. Clearly, he was aware it was going to swell. For one thing, it was the second ulnar lateral ligament repair on this player. So that wasn't the first one he'd ever seen. So he knew it was going to swell. So my analogy goes like this. If you knew it was going to snow 24 inches in the next 24 hours, 1 inch per hour, if you knew it, if every hour on the hour you would open your front door, with a good stiff broom, you could effortlessly keep your sidewalk clear of 1 inch of snow. It'd be simple. If, however, you wait till morning and open your door to 24 inches of angry snow, I assure you it will not be effortless and you will not clear it with a good stiff broom. So if you knew it was going to, quote, snow 24 inches in the next 24 hours, why'd you let it accumulate? You see, that's the problem. It's called procrastination. I have another article on my website called Procrastination, a Fundamental Flaw in Injury Management, where I explain all of that. And all of that is there, completely explained. I have all the details to it and all the references. Again, it's free. By the way, all the stuff on my website's free. Just go there, print the articles, use them as you choose. Now, you say, well, so if you procrastinate, it's a fundamental flaw in injury management? That's the problem. And what is the in the dictionary, in my dictionary, in Gary's dictionary, what's the picture under the word procrastination in my dictionary? It's the RICE protocol. The RICE protocol, that is procrastination times. Sitting still with a bag of ice wrapped tightly around an area with it elevated. Well, what have you done? You've stopped the process. Oh, but it's pain relief. People need pain relief. Really? So you need pain relief. So you're going to make it cold and sit still so it stops hurting. Big question.
Mm-hmm.
Is the problem solved when it warms up? No, actually it's worse because you've caused additional damage, you've delayed healing, and you've increased swelling. So you've actually made it worse, not better. Wouldn't it be better to say this?
Yeah.
Instead of giving ice for pain, wouldn't it be better to decongest the area in and around the damaged site and find a neutral position? Most of your pain, if not all of your pain, will go away. I've had people with broken bones right in front of me where I'm there right after it happens. And once the experts, the medical people, get that person in a neutral position, most of the pain stops. And if you would just decongest the area and then follow the steps of rebuilding the related vascular network, because those are the two big things. If you decongest the area and rebuild the related vascular network, and then you get in a neutral position, most of your pain goes away.
Yeah.
So people say to me, oh, yeah, but Gary, you don't understand. No, I do understand. I've been around a long time, so I understand. I've been doing this for 47 years. I understand. If you don't solve the problem, all you've done was mask it. So I liken the idea of giving ice for pain to the sympathetic bartender that gives the alcoholic a drink so they can temporarily feel better. Did you solve the problem? No.
Yeah.
Did you make it worse? Yeah. So you got to think things through.
Yeah.
Am I trying to make it not hurt, or am I trying to get rid of the reason it hurts?
That's excellent. That's excellent. And what we'll do, we'll make sure we provide some links to your website so that our viewers can go directly to there. We'll also throw a link up there for Amazon store so they can find your book, although I'm sure they can buy your book online too from your website. And, this is just as fascinating as it was when we met in Vegas a few months back. And I really, really appreciate you coming on to the show. And, I think this is going to be highly beneficial to, of course, all of our listeners. And so, Gary, I want to thank you for being inside the training room, and we will speak again soon.
I love it. Last thing, if I can say to your audience, is this.
Please do.
Very important. Now it's at the end. If I could prove to you that the godfather of the Ice Age, the Harvard-trained doc that made up the most recognized, referenced, and recommended protocol in Western medicine, the Rice Protocol, if I could prove to you that he has not only publicly recanted, said, look, I made it up, I'm wrong, don't do it, and that they wrote the foreword to the Anti-Iceman's book, the book that literally took down his protocol, would you at least listen?
Yeah.
I believe we've just proven that to you.
I absolutely, without a shadow of a doubt. Awesome. Thanks again, Gary, and we'll speak again soon.
My pleasure. Thank you for having me on.
Thank you once again for tuning in to this final episode of my interview with the Anti-Iceman, Gary Reinl. For additional information, make sure to check out Gary's contact information on our website, sportsmedondemand.com, and look under our partners. Thanks again.